Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto unlocks chakra chains in waves. Part 1. If you guys enjoy this, what if? And you guys want to see part 2? Comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. So let's start the video. Chapter 1. The ninja world is a far-reaching mysterious place filled with people who have the ability to use an inner energy they call chakra. The people who wield this incredible energy are known as ninja or shinobi. The world was filled with many clans, some of which had some incredible bloodline abilities that made these clans so famous. The Kagaya had the ability to make their own bones into weapons, the Uchiha had eyes that could read movements and copy, the Uzumaki had chakra chains and longevity. The most famous of all, however, was the Senju clan with Hashirama as its head as the only known wielder of the wood-release bloodline limit. Clan wars were common in these legendary ninja times, and there were many deaths. That is until Hashirama and Madara Uchiha came together and formed a ceasefire agreement and formed the first ever ninja village, Konohagakure. They settled down together and soon, other clans joined this village, making other clans do the same in other villages. Fire country, water country, wind country, rock country and lightning country were all formed and the Hokage, Mizukage, Kazekage, Tsuchikage and the Reikage each being the leader of their villages were chosen for their villages, the villages of leaf, mist, sand, rock and cloud respectively, were formed. This is also the time when 9 very powerful demons, all captured by Hashirama Senju himself, were spread to the other villages to help to create peace among the world of shinobi. The people who contained these massive entities of raw demonic chakra, were called the power of human sacrifice. They were seen as weapons for the most part and were hated for what they contained. Many were very fearful of them as they could not be controlled or beaten except by a few clans. The Uzumaki, Uchiha and Hashirama Senju were the only ones known to be able to subdue them. Fast forward about 150 years, the Leaf Village's 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze and his wife Kushina Uzumaki, were expecting their first son. A son they would call Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. But Kushina was the of the 9-tailed fox, Kyuubi no Kitsune, and her seal was getting weaker and weaker due to childbirth. "You're doing a really good, Kushi-chan," spoke an average-sized man at about 5 feet 10 inches tall, with blonde spiky hair and cerulean blue eyes. "Shut up you bastard," yelled a beautiful crimson-haired woman with purple eyes. "You did this to me, you're never going to touch me again. Do you understand me?" Right now she is in the process of giving birth to their son and needless to say, she was in pain. Soon after crying was heard and Naruto was born, both parents couldn't be more happy. But just then the Anbu in the room fell down dead and the wife of the Sandaime Hokage was also killed. Step away from the Jinchuriki Yondaime. A man in a black cloak with an orange mask spoke while holding baby Naruto. "Move towards her and your son will die at the ripe age of 1 minute old." Yondaime grit his teeth while Kushina stared up at what was happening. Yondaime then moved away from her while the man then threw Naruto into the air, making Minato catch him while throwing off his blanket due to it having been covered in exploding tags. When he looked back, Kushina and the man were gone. This event had been witnessed by the entire village as the Kyuubi was released in the middle of the village, causing panic and killing many people. In the end the demon was sealed within Naruto and both the Yondaime, Minato Namikaze and his wife Kushina Uzumaki, were both killed. Naruto was only given the last name Uzumaki to save him from the possible assassins from Iwa, as Minato had killed many of them during the last war. He was then put into the orphanage regardless of the fact that a few clans wanted to adopt him, these being the Hyuga, the Inyazuka, and even the Uchiha. Each one of the clan heads, being good friends with the parents, were the only ones to know of the boy's true heritage. This would be the very beginning of the story of Naruto Uzumaki, the Crimson Chain wielder. It was a special time for the Hidden Leaf Village as it was the 7th anniversary of the defeat of Kyuubi. A festival is thrown every year that almost everyone attends and spends time with their family and friends while having some drinks at the local bars. This day also happens to be Naruto's birthday and one of the only things he fears. Ever since he could remember he was hated and starved in the village. No one would treat him properly and they would hit him and throw things at him. No stores would allow him in and because of that, he is almost skeletal. He is wearing some very worn and torn old pants on his skinny and weak legs. He isn't really wearing a shirt at all, it looks like an old children's blanket that he had sewn together with some materials he found. Underneath his improvised shirt, you would see the countless cuts and scars that are all over his torso and arms. There is also a scar on his face that goes from the left side of his forehead down to the right side of his cheek. He was lucky it didn't destroy his eyes though. There is another one on the left side of his lip that is straight down from the bottom of his nose to the middle area from the bottom lip to the chin. He has golden blonde hair that is untamed and spiky, that is now filled with dirt, if it were clean it would practically shine. He has beautiful blue eyes deeper than any sea. You can get lost in them if you truly look into them, feeling his pain and loneliness, but also an unbreakable spirit and will to never give up and never run away. He also has 3 whisker-like birthmarks on each cheek. He always wants to do the right thing and wants people's respect. He wants to end his suffering and wants to be strong enough to get their respect and help them. He wants friends and love more than anything, and he will do whatever it takes. But for now, he is just focusing on surviving for another night as he is running from a mob of angry villagers with pitchforks, torches, and various blunt and sharp weapons. "Get back here, demon!" screamed one of the lead villagers. "We will kill you and avenge the 4th," roared an angry female. "Why? I've been good and I've never harmed any of you," screamed the village's shunned hero. This is the 2nd ever mob he had to deal with, the first being on his 6th birthday, the day he was also kicked out of the orphanage. He was even abused there too as he didn't get enough food and he could never be allowed to have fun with the other kids. He was forced to sleep in a cellar on the cold and unforgiving ground. No blankets, no pillow. No warmth. He had cried himself to sleep many nights, desperately wanting warmth and someone to hold on to. He wasn't even taught how to read by the matrons, but the Sandaime Hokage had made some time for him and he was taught by him and was given some books to read. He was actually a very smart kid and he was able to hide very well for his age and he could learn quickly and easily. For the last couple months he had been making traps and cooking animals he caught with herbs that he had read about. His trap making and patience were heightened and he was becoming very skilled. He knew the village layout as well as he knew the back of his hand, but today was not his day it seems. The path he wanted to take was blocked off and there was no going back to the mob. Looking back, showing no fear for his chasers, he sees some in the mob and he never breaks eye contact with them. He waits and is soon attacked. The person who Naruto had glared at came at him and started off the brutal beating with a chakra-powered punch to his head. Naruto was sent into the wall hard and was dazed and in pain, with blood coming down from his mouth and dripping off his chin. The other ninja in the group start to throw kunai knives at him and they stick into his arms, chest, and legs, but not in lethal spots so they can prolong the torture. Naruto had grown used to this. They then grab him and hold him to the wall. "Hold him for a second, Nanashi, let's stick him to the wall," the first says venomously to his friend. "Good plan, Hahedo," the newly named Nanashi replies. "Let's see how this feels to you, disgusting demon. I hope you rot in hell for killing my wife and son. But I didn't kill anyone, I want to protect you all and be a hero, please believe me. I don't want to hurt anymore." Our hero replies shakily from the pain, but he refuses to cry. "Shut up." Hahedo screams as he plunges a kunai deep into both of his shoulders and into the wall, effectively keeping him in place. He cries out in pain as he looks at the mob that is shouting some of the most cruel things anyone could think of while they begin to beat him. Punches, kicks, bats, knives, hammers, and other weapons that the mob could get their hands on constantly hitting his small and weak body. With his incredible willpower, he is able to last much longer than any grown man would be able to, but eventually he loses consciousness. "Foolish humans," a voice growls out angrily, disgusted at the treatment of the boy. How could they treat the boy like this? It's not his fault that I, the queen of the Baiges, was sealed into his stomach. "I will help you out, young Naruto-kun," the voice thinks to herself. Naruto starts to stir after his torment and finds himself floating on the surface of a 1-foot-deep sewer. Not knowing how he got there, he begins to look around in this dark and ominous room, wondering what happened and where he is. Where am I? Did the villagers finish torturing me and then they decided to throw me into some type of sewer? He spoke quietly. I don't know why they treat me so badly and call me a demon, why? I'm a good boy and haven't hurt any of them like they say, and I've never wanted to kill them or anything either, so why? He asks again and thinking that he is all alone he starts to tear up a bit and lets a few tears fall down his whiskered cheeks. Don't cry, little one. A booming voice speaks out, it sounds rough, but there is some kindness in there that Naruto can pick up on. It sounded almost painful, and that seemed to calm him down as he sat quietly. Come over here, the voice suddenly speaks out again without warning and scares Naruto who can't see anything. Who's there? Where are you? He asks, slightly scarred as he starts to get into a sloppy defensive position as he would never allow himself to just give up and die. The fox seeing this starts to frown, not wanting him to be defensive and hide himself from others who might want to be his friend. I can't believe the villagers did this to him, he shouldn't be like this, he should be a happy little boy with lots of friends and people to love. It's truly a shame. She thinks sadly to herself, but then decides to speak to him. Don't be scared, little one, I promise I won't hurt you. Just follow my voice and you will find me. Slightly reassured, Naruto starts to go to the last spot the voice was heard from, only to see giant metal bars that look like a cage. They look like they go on forever up into the darkness that covers the entire ceiling. On one of the bars in the middle there is what looks to be a piece of paper that has what looks to him, a seal on it. But that is not what gets Naruto's attention. It is what is in the cage that got his undivided attention. Completely and dark with the floor just as flooded as every other spot sits a fox. Normally this would be no big deal, but this fox was different, with crimson fur, it has 9 matching tails, matching eyes, teeth so sharp they look like they could easily pierce through steel, and was as tall as the Hokage monument. He instantly paled to a perfect white, not knowing that the fox was never evil at all. Wow. He manages to murmur out in the presence of the great crimson fox. Who are you? He asks with his heart threatening to explode in his chest, as he has a bit of an idea. I am Kyuubi no Kitsune. The fox replies evenly while making eye contact, and she becomes impressed when he returns it. Naruto's face then scrunches into his own version of a thinking face. Kyuubi. Are you the reason my life is so terrible then? He asks, as he knew more than he let on for his age. The fox then looks really surprised at that, but quickly looks down with a guilty expression coming across her face. You are the correct kid, and I want to say sorry, I never meant to attack your village of Konohagakure. She explains quickly and calmly, while trying to hide the sadness. What do you mean? Are you saying it was some kind of accident that should have never happened? And where are we? Naruto questions skeptically, with a little anger in his tone. It was kind of like that, I was controlled into attacking the village. I never wanted to kill all those innocent people of Konoha. And this is your mind, I've been here ever since you were born. She says quickly, fighting tears of guilt for ruining the life of someone she has come to respect and admire. She has felt terrible having to watch the boy suffer for his whole life until now. She has seen the determined look in his eye, and she knew that he kept his kind spirit no matter what happened to him. She has become very interested in this little human, as any other person would have snapped long ago. She has decided that she wants to help this boy that she has come to respect, and she knew of a way that she could help him. I see. But can you please explain more so I can fully understand that story? He asks. It is a long story, so I will give you the easiest version and the shortest version. She says. I was your mother's prisoner before yours, her name was Kushina Uzumaki. I respected her and we were on good terms with each other. On the day of your birth the seal on her stomach was the weakest. This means that I could have gotten away easily, even if I never intended to. The man who I believed to be Madara Uchiha then came and kidnapped your mom and released me. After he did that, I looked into his eyes by mistake and his Sharingan took control of me. Madara then forced me to attack that village for his own selfish revenge. After a while your father Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, showed up and sealed me into you, his own son. At the mention of his mom and dad he had frozen, he had always thought of his parents and whether or not they had just abandoned him or died for the village. He starts to cry for the one of the first times in his life, finally knowing a small amount of information about his parents. Is my mom gone then? He asks through his cries. The fox, letting a single tear slide down from her crimson eyes, replies, unfortunately she is Naruto-kun, she truly missed her previous host. Quickly compassing herself she continues, she would have wanted you to be happy Naruto-kun. She loved you very much and so did your father. I want to help you and I have a way that I think you will enjoy. Kyuubi said to the boy who now looked at her like she was Kami. I believe your bloodline has awakened and in your body's time of weakness, I have strengthened it by a good amount. Bloodline? Are those the things that the weird wide-eyed people have? He asks excitedly, which made the fox laugh a bit and also made her respect him more that he could even laugh at this time. Very good Naruto-kun, she replies, then she suddenly figured out she had added the kun suffix to his name for the first time in her speech and she blushed a bit in embarrassment, hoping that he wouldn't catch it. She looked and saw that he blushed a bit and she winced a bit as she had never called someone with the kun before, but she decided to move on. Anyway, it is like those people, the Hyuga I believe. Yours is not a thought, it is more of a body-type bloodline called the Chakra chains. Chakra chains, huh, sounds pretty awesome. He replies childishly. Can you tell me what exactly it does? He yells, doing his best to keep from jumping up and down or blushing at his chosen suffix for the fox. Blushing from the chan suffix and smiling at his playfulness she explains, of course I can Naruto-kun, I am the queen of the Bijus after all, okay to sta. Queen? Naruto interrupts and begins blushing more than he was called with a kun, you're a girl fox. I am, would you like to see my human form? She asks playfully. Her grin widens when she sees his nodding. Okay, just 1 second, then she is suddenly covered in a dark red light and begins to shrink. In her spot is now a teenage girl about the age of 17. She has bright red hair with a beautiful and flawless face. She has crimson eyes matching her fox form and tails and fox ears on the top of her head. She has a killer body, which he can tell by the almost see-through tight crimson kimono. Breasts are around a high B cup, not too big, not too small, she has wide hips with a killer bubble butt. All in all, she is breathtaking to look at, and Naruto is blushing like crazy, trying to stop his already shaking knees from giving out on him. He just walks closer to the cage, lost in her beauty. "I take it you like what you see," she says teasingly. "Well, what are you talking about?" He stutters out, trying but failing to hide his increasing blush. Thinking of ways to change the subject, he asks, "Weren't you saying something about my bloodline?" "You're no fun, Naruto-kun," she purrs and grins, seeing his increasingly red face. "But you're right, the Chakra chain's bloodline is a very strong one. You will eventually be much stronger if you start to wear weights during runs and workouts. This is due to your clan, the Uzumaki clan, having very strong and healthy bodies, so your body will have a higher tolerance for weights than a normal person. That is not really a part of the bloodline. What is though, is the fact that you will be able to sprout chains from any part of your body. These chains are made of the Uzumaki's very strong chakra that can actually subdue even a." "That sounds awesome. I can't wait to unlock my chains, but the villagers won't sell me anything and I have nowhere to live and nothing to eat," he says, reverting to a more shy and guarded personality now that he was finally feeling comfortable in Kyuubi's presence. Kyuubi, seeing this, frown, says, "We are going to have to break that shy and reserved personality of his and get him some friends." She thinks sadly but is also happy that he accepts her and is comfortable with her. "Go and see your Jiji and ask him for help, you should have done that a long time ago. Don't worry that he is busy, he will always be there for you. Don't tell him we can talk yet, and don't ask about your parents either, we can tell him when you are older. Also ask if you could get a trainer or someone to help you who doesn't hate you because of me," she says, sounding guilty at the end. "Don't blame Kyuubi-chan, because it's not your fault. If it helps at all, I forgive you and would really like to get to know you and be friends," he says soothingly while blushing as he feels something different when talking to her. Hearing this, Kyuubi starts to tear up and cry a little. She's so happy that he forgives her and wants to be friends. "Thank you so much, Naruto-kun, I would love to be your friend too," she replies as she grabs him into the cage and gives him a massive bear hug, well, fox hug. Holding each other for a short while more, they reluctantly let go. "It's time for you to wake up now, Naruto-kun, and remember what I said. Just go directly to the Hokage and ask him for some help." "Okay, Kyuubi-chan, and thanks for everything, I really appreciate your help healing me and being my friend. Goodbye for now," he replies, softly saying his goodbye and fading away. "Goodbye, Naruto-kun. You are definitely the most interesting human I have ever met. Maybe," she says quietly while blushing like crazy. Naruto starts to wake up and sees the villagers and just leaves the scene of the crime. He slowly starts to get up as the bones in his legs are now almost fully repaired thanks to the Kyuubi. The cuts and deep gashes are almost all healed up, leaving scars in their places. His improvised shirt was absolutely destroyed with little recognizable pieces scattered around. His worn pants are in a similar state, being just barely enough to cover him. He's getting up. Some random civilian yells, alerting the angry mob. Naruto sees more and more heads turn towards him and is getting nervous. His wounds may have healed, but he is still very sore. He wants some chains to appear from his back and makes them shield him from the crowd. Well, they finally stop and just stare in surprise, and some of the ninja in awe, as they only knew of one person who could do that. Wanting to be better than the mobs, he simply stares at them coming towards him and lets his eyes do most of the talking. The frozen people can then finally see what they have done to him by looking in his eyes for what is probably their first time. They can practically feel the pain, loneliness and strength coming from the poor boy. Some start to feel a little guilty, while others are waiting to see if he will become angry and attack, but what they all had in common was nobody could have guessed they would be receiving an apology. "I have just learned of my burden through this beating, it being one of the worst I've ever had. I can see your frustration in me even being around, and I understand now. It's an eye-opener. I would want revenge if I had a family and someone killed them too," he says softly and quietly, but somehow everyone can hear him clearly. "I, however, am not the Kyuubi reincarnated, we are two separate beings. I only wish to be left alone, please," he says as he turns and starts his walk to the Hokage tower, leaving behind a mob of around 30 people to finally let go of their anger and think on what they have done. Chapter 2. On his way towards the Hokage tower, Naruto couldn't help but smile, even though he went through a terrible ordeal. He has found a friend that was always and will always be around for him. He even felt bad that she is a prisoner and had thoughts of one day releasing her, but he would probably never have met her if she wasn't a prisoner in the first place though. But a friend is a friend in his 7-year-old mind, and he will cherish all of his friends forever. Speaking of friends, his first and oldest friend has just put away a crystal ball that he kept hidden in his office. It is none other than the old and wise third Hokage, the Sandaime, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen had never seen such a thing happen to the boy before, so he called his trust Anbu. "I want you to go and bring these people to Ibiki," he said as he wrote a list and descriptions of each person. "Hi Hokage-sama. the Anbu said as they left to search for the men and women. Sigh. Naruto is probably very unhappy, I hope he isn't too upset. The old man thought with a frown as he slouched in his seat more as the years seemed to catch up to him. I hope he can forgive me for failing him. Minato-kun, Kushina-chan, I am sorry for the beatings that your son has suffered, but I promise I will help him become a great shinobi. He decided in his head as he gained a determined look in his eyes. He is then brought out of his thoughts as he hears a knock on his door and his secretary's muffled screams from the other side of the door yelling at someone. He's busy, you little shit, now get out before I call the Anbu on you. The secretary yells quite loudly. So he gets up, opens his door and sees his favorite orphan outside and a red-faced secretary from all the yelling she was doing. He calls in his famous commanding tone, the one that could freeze even the most veteran shinobi in their tracks. The woman, now known as Nishima, yelps in fright and turns around quickly to see the third Hokage right behind her and pales when she sees the stern look on his wrinkled face. I have tried to tell you that Naruto is always welcome whenever I am not in a meeting. He is a nice young boy and if you can't see that then maybe you are not qualified to be my secretary. You are fired, so don't come back, you will have until noon tomorrow to pack your things and go, am I clear? He talks calmly yet strongly at the same time. But I've had this job for months now, you can't just fee. She stops talking as his glare hardens and he starts unleashing a small amount of killing intent on her. Feeling her life practically flash before her eyes, she just nods dumbly and starts packing her things. Naruto-kun, you may come into my office now, I'm sure you have something important you want to talk to me about. He says calmly, while on the inside he is worried about Naruto. Seeing his shredded clothes, along with all of his scars and some burns here and there on his already frail and skeleton-like body, makes him become angered at his treatment and a bit depressed that he can't protect him better. Naruto is like a grandson to him and he doesn't want to lose him or have him get mad at him. He wants to keep their grandfather-to-grandson bond intact, which as of now, he is not sure how strong their bond really is anymore. Okay, Gigi. The young voice behind him says quietly as he then sits in front of the Hokage's desk and waits for the old man to sit down as well to start his story. I was hurt today, Gigi. I was scared that I was going to die, but I woke up and healed up really quick. It's weird, but I have always healed fast. He said as he tried to look into the Hokage's eyes, but he couldn't, so he kept glancing around. I know I haven't seen you too much in the last year or so, but if you didn't already know, I was kicked out of the orphanage on my 6th birthday. I was also pushed around and hit with bottles and rocks that some of the more mean people threw at me from time to time. I never told you because I didn't want you to die of a heart attack or anything, worrying old man. He jokes and chuckles a bit hollowly, hoping to lighten the mood, if even a bit. Hiruzen didn't laugh at all, a deep frown was too busy covering his face. Inwardly he was fuming, he never heard that he was kicked out of the orphanage. What did he eat? Garbage. Naruto-kun, you should have told me that they did all of that stuff, why didn't you, and how did you survive? He asks momentarily, forgetting his anger out of curiosity. Well, first I tried to ask people for some spare food, but they either hit me and said I didn't deserve it or just ignored me altogether. I then started to eat out of the garbage from then on, or anything I could find really. Some people would even try to stop me from eating that, but I still managed and learned quickly to be really quiet and take the garbage at night time. The ramen stand with really nice owners let me eat for free whenever I went, but I didn't go so much because I didn't want to get them hurt. It was Ichiraku's, I think. After the first 4 months or so I got sick of eating garbage and wound up catching some squirrels and rabbits to cook and eat the last 2 months or more, since I had been sneaking into the library to learn about survival. I'm sorry for not telling you, but you helped me a lot and I didn't want to take you away from your work. I know it's important and I don't want to have to rely on you to save me all the time. He finishes calmly while finally looking into the man's eyes with determination, which the Hokage can clearly see, which impresses him a great deal. He seems to be quite skilled in survival already, and at age 7, I think he is maturing too quickly, but I don't know whether to be sad or proud. Proud for his skill or sad that he is forced to develop that skill so early in his life. His endurance and pain tolerance are also too good for someone that age. Sandaime thought sadly. Well, Naruto-kun, I'm impressed with your natural survival skill and endurance, but you should have told me about this. I will see if I can find an apartment for you to live in. On the one condition that you come to me if anything bad happens again, and I will fix it, do you promise? Of course, Gigi responds in his normal happy voice that makes Sandaime happy that their bond is still strong and Naruto is still alright. Before I go to Gigi, I also wanted to ask if you could buy me some new clothes and help me to become a strong ninja so I can protect the village and my precious people that I hope to find. He asks quietly, almost feeling like the old man would say no. I would love to help you be a ninja, Naruto-kun. I could help you use your bloodline, the chakra chains, as I saw you awakened it. Also we will get you some new clothes and supplies. You can't be a ninja without some good ninja clothes, and a good ninja is always prepared for everything, so I will buy all your clothes and supplies. Hiruzen says. Awesome. Gigi, that would be great, and I promise to help all the people of the village through the good times and the bad. I will be just as good a ninja as you, if not better. I promise you that, and I never go back on my word. Naruto shouts enthusiastically. I know you do, Naruto-kun. That is a great quality in any man, and I'm sure you can surpass me in time. Now let's go get you those clothes, and then we can go get ramen. He says, seeing that his story has taken a good amount of time and it is now around dinner time. He then grabs a nearby blanket to cover up the young blonde boy in his office. Alright Raymond, you're the best Gigi. Naruto shouts and starts jumping up and down in excitement. On their way to a nearby ninja clothing store, Sandane can see the angry glares cast at his young companion. Fools, not even being able to tell the difference between a young boy and a nine-tailed fox. While Naruto, however, is mildly surprised at seeing the glares. Well, that's not entirely it, he is surprised at the lessened amount of glares. He even saw some of the people who beat him earlier, which seemed to not have been picked up by the Anbu. Some of them looked at him with clear guilt in their eyes, and some even waved and smiled at him. There were still other people who looked past him and ignored him, and some of the usual glares and killing intent, but not as much as before. Shortly, they arrived at the store they were going to. It looked like any normal store to Naruto, but he also thought it was just a cover-up, as he could almost sense something off about the store. They then enter, and immediately Naruto's eyes widen in surprise. Wow. Sandane chuckles at his grandson's figure. Wow is right, Naruto-kun, I'm assuming you thought it was just a normal store by the appearance outside. That was to make the store look normal to civilians, but a good ninja will be able to break it. The also acts like a marker, it pushes away civilians but attracts ninjas to the store. He explains. Wow. Do you think I could learn something like that too? Naruto asked, hoping it was a yes, as he would like to try to hide some of his scars, mostly the ones on his face, so he would be more normal. If you can get your chakra under good enough control, you may be able to use some, but not a lot, as you have too much chakra. The higher ranked ones would be somewhat doable due to how much chakra it takes, but other than that you will not be capable of using too much. He explains carefully, knowing it might upset Naruto. Oh, I see. Naruto replies somewhat sadly, wanting to be good at every aspect of being a ninja. But, I will just have to be that much better in the other areas of being a ninja, isn't that right, Gigi? He replies with tons of confidence. Hiruzen just smiles at his determination and nods. Can I help you out today? A young man with a gruff and strong voice suddenly sounds out. A man, well, man isn't really the word Naruto would use, more like a bear. The man is easily 6'5", probably weighing around 300 to 350 pounds, all mostly muscle. He has a full beard that is short and well trimmed. All in all, he is a scary looking guy. Naruto becomes wary, but he doesn't look away, and he doesn't back up, as he knows that his Gigi is there with him. Also, not sensing any hate in his voice helped out, so he just smiles and nods at the man. I want to be a ninja and protect the village, and I need some new clothes and supplies. Gigi will be helping me out today. He says to the man, not noticing the respect the man seems to gain at not being afraid of him. Well, then go ahead and look around while I talk to Hokage-sama, okay? The bear-like man replies. Naruto just nods and starts to look around, seeing all types of weapons and clothes, going to those first. He searches for a couple minutes and finally grabs some shirts and pants and goes to try them on. Shortly later, he comes out wearing all black Anbu-style pants with a black shirt as well. He saw a cool trench coat there also, but when he tried it on, it was much too long. It was black on the outside, with the inside being like fur. The fur was soft and crimson. He had really started to like the crimson color after he met the fox. Thinking that it looked really nice, he was going to buy it so he could grow into it. He then moves to look at weapons, thinking since he can't really use them effectively, he would get a sword or a different type of weapon, even knowing that his chains would prove to be quite deadly if he trained with them. You never know when you might need a sword or two, or maybe even 9, he thought to himself with a small chuckle, as he had thought of how many tails Kyuubi had. Seeing nothing for a while, he starts to lose some hope, but then sees a couple of beautiful swords. One is a katana, with a solid dark crimson, almost black handle. He reaches for it and pulls it out of its sheath. He is mesmerized by the blade. It was pure dark crimson and about 3.5 feet long and extremely sharp looking. He knew he had to have it. The other blade was a wakizashi. It had a similar look to the katana, but was about half the size of it. He grabbed it also and went to the front desk where the two men were talking. I have everything that I want, old man, but I will need more spares of the clothes I have on and some kunai and shuriken as well, please. Wow. A katana and wakizashi, huh? The kid knows what to look for in weapons. His clothes are ninja worthy as well. Excellent job, kiddo. The man behind the counter says and chuckles when the boy blushes from the praise. Indeed, but you will need to be careful with the weapons Naruto-kun, they are sharp and can harm you very easily. The third says. Now let's get you some spare clothes and head over to get ramen. Then we will go to the grocery store and buy you healthy foods and then go to the apartment I had in mind. They soon continue on their short journey throughout the village with some more of the glares and harsh words that they would whisper. They didn't really bother Naruto all that much since this is the best day of his life. He is getting ramen from Ichiraku's, which has always been his favorite place to go ever since he went there for the first time. He also got new clothes that feel great. They are comfortable and sturdy, they would last him a long time. On top of all that he got ninja supplies and a couple blades to practice with. He is brought out of his thoughts when he smells something godly. The smell of fresh ramen. He starts to run to the stand drooling. The Sandaime just chuckles at the boy's enthusiasm. Tuchi Jiji, I'm back and starving to death over here. I hope you can make enough to fill me up. Naruto yells as he sits in his usual spot. Is that you, Naruto-kun? And an old voice calls out, the voice belongs to a kind-looking old man around the age of the Sandaime, maybe a little younger. Naruto-kun. A newer and younger female voice calls out. That would be Am, Tuchi's daughter. She is younger, being only a little older than Naruto. She has brown eyes and brown hair. She is very cute to any sane man, and she adores Naruto. She is currently wearing an apron, as she works in the ramen stand with her dad. I'm here again Am-chan. Naruto calls out just as excited as she is. But instantly loses his breath as he is grabbed into a vice-like hug by Am. Where have you been all this time? She asks angrily. We've been worried sick about you, the last time you were here was months ago. She really worries about him and has even come to like him quite a bit. She has been really close to him ever since they first met and always feel the need to take care of him, which is something she really enjoys. Busy I guess, sorry Am-chan he says sincerely. He hates it when she worries over him, but also knows that he couldn't live without it. He has always had a soft spot for her and has a crush on her, but it's a bit weird as he sees Tuchi as his own father. Well, it's just good to have you back Naruto-kun, I'll get started on your usual order now. Tuchi says and quickly gets to work on Naruto's average of 10 bowls, letting the two catch up as he knows that they like each other. The first of many is then placed in front of him and he just stares for a while and drools over the godly smell of the ramen. Itadakamasu says and devours the bowl in less than a minute. Shortly after the reunion everyone watches Naruto in an almost fascinated horror as he eats all 15 bowls. He and the old man say thank you and goodbye and head out of the stand. Not before promising Am that he will come again of course, even just to visit. It is now getting a little dark out and Naruto is really tired and anxious to get to his new home. Soon the old man leads him into a slightly run-down apartment building. It's nothing special at all but Naruto doesn't care, he has learned from early on that you should always treasure what you have. He enters through the door to room 120 and finds it to be an acceptable place to live. There is a kitchen with all the needed appliances and a table for four with 4 chairs. The bedroom is small with a one-person bed but is good enough because he probably won't spend too much time in there anyway. Across from his room is a small bathroom with a toilet, a shower, and a sink. There is a cabinet above the sink for his toothpaste and other bathroom things. Thank you for everything today Jiji, I really appreciate it. This is the perfect place for me to live in. Naruto says after they filled up the fridge with all the healthy food they bought. He almost started tearing up but he doesn't want to be seen as weak. It's okay Naruto-kun, I will always be around for you if you need help, also I would like it if you met my grandson Konohamaru, I'm sure you will both get along. Now, before you go to bed I will put some gravity seals on you. These will increase the amount of gravity you feel on you at all times. So when you take the seals off you will be much faster and stronger because you will be fighting the pressure. Also you will be able to adapt a bit when you're sleeping. I'm going to start at about 3 times gravity, people with your blood do have a better resistance to gravity after all, which is why you're skipping levels 1 and 2. Okay Jiji can you do it quickly, I am really tired out from today. 1 minute Naruto. True to his word, it was only about a minute for him to finish the seals and he could tell Naruto was having trouble and started to chuckle when he heard Naruto's groaning. Now Naruto-kun, I thought you wanted to be a strong ninja, so no complaining. I will take time off tomorrow to show you some basics and then find you a private instructor or instructors after that. Good night Naruto-kun. The kind old man says and shuns out of the room. Man I have got to learn how to do that soon, that would be awesome. Well, time for bed, I start my ninja training tomorrow. He says quietly to himself as he forces his body to take him to his bed under all the added gravity. I will train harder than anyone and become a legend, everywhere I go people will recognize me. All the people will all look at me with respect, while my enemies will cower in fear when in my presence. He thinks as he lets sleep take him. Chapter 3. Naruto is still in bed in his new apartment, it is around 7 in the morning. Unfortunately for him, the sun is beginning to shine into his eyes and he starts to wake up. "Oh man, I'm still tired, go away stupid sun." Finally realizing that complaining won't make the sun disappear into some black hole, he gets up, still noticing the seal slowing him down quite a bit. Alright, can't be complaining about getting up if I do what I will do about training. He then takes his morning shower, savoring the feeling of finally being clean for his first morning of living on his own. The first time he has actually been even relatively clean in his life, actually. He was never really able to use the baths or showers in the building of the orphanage. Shaking off the depressing thoughts and the rest of the water in his hair, he leaves the shower to get dressed. He also grabs his katana and wakizashi and heads to the kitchen for a healthy breakfast. When he gets there he gets out some ingredients and some pots and pans when he suddenly comes to a complete stop and stares at the assembled items. "I have no idea what I'm doing," he thinks to himself while sweat dropping, as he doesn't really know how to make a generic breakfast, having only lived on food he had caught or trapped. He then suddenly passes out and finds himself in the sewers of his own mind. Traveling the dark and haunting halls like he has been there for his entire life, he stops in front of a very familiar cage. "Hello, Naruto-kun," a heavenly voice calls out to him in a soothing tone, with a hint of something else. "I may be able to help you, but first you have to help me. It's only a minor thing so don't flip out or anything." Our favorite prisoner says calmly. "Hey Kyuubi-chan, good morning to you too." He replies teasingly. "What is this deal, and what would you like in return?" "Oh, how silly of me. Good morning Naruto-kun. Would you like a good morning kiss as well?" The clever vixen in human form replies, making him blush. Score 1 for the Queen of Bijus. She thinks triumphantly. But he starts only to be blocked out by her melodious laughter. "Haha, you should know better than to try and tease a vixen Naruto-kun." She replies while almost going to the floor from laughing so hard. "Anyway, getting back on track here, all I want is out of this dingy and dirty water. Not released, yet at least, I just want you to change your mindscape into something suitable for a beautiful vixen like me to roam around in. I think I can do that, but how would you help me in the real world?" Sounding a little irritated for being made blush. "Well, after you change the mindscape to my liking we can set up a mental communication. I can then teach you things from talking inside your head to you. Whenever you want to reply just think it and allow me to hear it and I will. If you don't want me to know what you're thinking I will not have access to that certain thought, you have to want me to hear it for me to be able to. I can also keep you from my own personal thoughts as well, so it works both ways. I will also want your other senses as well, and like your thoughts, you can block me from seeing certain things too." She explains. Naruto shudders at the way she says things, having an idea of what she is talking about. He will make sure to remember that whenever he finds himself in some horrifyingly awkward situation that is a 1 in a million chance of happening, but those types of things just so happen to him quite often. "I think we have a deal," he says, putting that note into his brain as a reminder. "Great, rip a small piece of the seal off and then just think of a meadow and include a lake big enough for my fox form to fit into and still be touching the bottom of my feet. Also add a forest in the distance with trees tall enough to be half my size. A nice beach would also be nice for when I want to lay in the warm sand. Just picture those things and it will happen and it should," she says while mentally crossing off a checklist to see if she missed anything. "I'll get right on it, Kyuubi-chan," he says. "By the way, what's your real name?" he asks, wondering if Kyuubi was some kind of title, while still concentrating on the changes that should be made. "Hey Kaiashi," she replies with a small stutter of surprise, while blushing slightly. She has never given her real name to anyone. The only person she would really care about getting to know enough to tell them would be Naruto. "Well Kaiashi-chan, let's see what we can do about this sewage-infested dump." Not seeing the increasingly red face of his foxy prisoner. After a short time the water at their feet begins to drain and soon grass seems to start growing. The entire room feeling is gone when sunshine starts to appear also. Kaiashi already loves the feeling of being free of her cage. The grass feels great against her bare feet and she can also see the lake she requested filling in the background. Just beyond the lake is a plentiful forest filled with lush trees and bushes all around. Looking closely she can see some wild foxes in the forest as well. All in all, she couldn't have received a better place to be. "This is absolutely perfect Naruto-kun, I love it." She exclaims and glumps him, it almost looks like she is trying to squeeze the life out of him. Him turning blue could be one of the signs of that. Realizing what she is doing she lets go and helps him up to get the blood flowing again. "Sorry, I was happy and I didn't mean to crush you or anything," she says quickly trying to hide her blush of embarrassment. "That's okay, I get it. Anyway I have to go make a normal breakfast and I need your help if you could please," he asked happily, seeing that she was really happy. "Of course, just think about leaving this place and you will, and remember to think of what you want to say to me and I will hear it. Right, goodbye for now Kaiashi-chan." Goodbye Naruto-kun, feel free to visit anytime. She said, already missing him a bit as she had been all alone for quite some time and she likes to interact and talk to others. Naruto then opens his eyes and sees the ceiling. You know Kakashi-chan, next time you want to drag me into my mind try to warn me first. He thinks of it as his first test. Haha, oh, but that's no fun at all Naruto-kun. She thinks back teasingly while smiling a mischievous and foxy smile. Wow, it works. That's cool he thinks back with a bit of awe in his tone. Are you doubting my skills in Naruto-kun? I would hate to think that you are. She responds in her sweetest voice freezing him in his tracks as his instincts are screaming at him. WHWH what, no, I would never doubt your skills. How could I, you're the queen of the Bijus and the strongest of them all, haha. He finishes with his nervous laugh, hoping that his answer was good enough to the queen. Good, now let's get started. Soon after, Naruto is heading to the Hokage Tower with a very slow walk as he is still trying to get used to the gravity seals that were applied to him. Eventually he makes it there and finds a more neutral secretary at the same desk he passes a lot to enter the Sandame's office. She is young, about the same age as the other woman, and she is also fairly good looking as well. Excuse me miss, I think that Gigi is expecting me, can I go in now? He asks politely, trying to find out how this person might feel about him. She looks at him for a couple seconds to see if she recognizes him, and she does, but she simply smiles and nods at him. She normally would have been a little more rude after her aunt had died in the attack. That was before a friend of hers told her what she and the mob did and how Naruto reacted to it and she has decided to let it go and move on. Thank you is all he says along with his trademark smile on his face that actually makes the poor woman's heart stop. She thinks he is really cute with that smile, but at the same time feels guilty at how he was treated so badly. She also smiles at how strong a boy he is for keeping his sanity and she begins to respect him a lot. Why, hello there Naruto-kun, I'm surprised to see you here this early. It's only like 8:45 AM. I guess you were really serious about your training. That's always a good thing. He says approvingly. Now, before we begin, there are some things you should know. I will not baby you in your training at all, actually I'm going to make it harder on you. The academy starts in about 1 year and I want you to have a strong grasp on your bloodline when you get there. He says, dead serious to the young 7-year-old. Naruto could only gulp and nod dumbly. On top of that I have found you a couple of different instructors for the different aspects of being a ninja. Don't worry though, they will not glare at you and they will treat you fairly. I have also told them not to go easy on you though, but I'm sure you can handle it. You will meet them at a later time, most likely tomorrow. Now let me grab some scrolls from my filing cabinet and we can go. As they leave the office, Naruto can hardly control his excitement. He is much more jittery than normal, even while struggling to move properly while the old man next to him smiles at his enthusiasm. The old man's grin grows when he thinks about all the torture Naruto will be going through in the next year before the academy starts. As soon as they reach the training ground they were moving towards he begins to explain some things to the young blonde. Alright Naruto, these scrolls contain some katas for taijutsu and another contains some. I want you to have them. There are some other scrolls for the basic academy ninjutsu that you will need to know to graduate. I also have prepared a scroll of a couple different chakra control exercises and some basics. The control exercises will make it easier for you to use ninjutsu and Gyuinjutsu, although rare around here, is extremely useful and you can do almost anything with it. It is also very effective and I have a hunch you will be a natural at it. He says while avoiding telling him that he is part of the Uzumaki clan before he thinks he is ready, not knowing that Naruto already knows everything. Naruto will help you a lot in the future just like he said. But what he isn't telling you is that your clan, the Uzumaki clan, were the best users to ever live. Kakashi thought to him without Sarutobi being able to tell. Naruto doesn't outwardly show that he is surprised, but he does get excited at learning the things his clan excelled at. Awesome Gigi, thanks a lot for the help. I will master all of this stuff easily before I enter the academy and I will pass at the top of my class. He shouts determinedly. Now Naruto-kun, I actually think it would be best if you held back a bit in school. I'm not saying be the worst student in the class, maybe be in the middle. Deception is a ninja's best weapon. And mastering what's in those scrolls isn't the only thing you need to do you know. You have to keep your body healthy and strong. You will do grueling physical exercise every day and keep increasing your gravity seals like I showed you each time you get used to them. Don't worry so much, I will work out physically and also master those in katas as well, no problem old man. I will also advance that stuff because it sounds so cool. Naruto replied confidently. That's good that he is interested in, it's in his blood after all. He thinks with a knowing smile which turns into a sadistic smirk, alright then tough guy, do 25 push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, jumping jacks, and then run 3 laps around this training field with only a 1-minute break in between each of them. he says with a dead serious look in his eyes. I also have some other things you will need to know, but I will tell you them when you are ready to hear them. What? Do you want me to die, old man, and why can't you tell me now? He asks as he lets his complaints known. A ninja doesn't complain about Naruto-kun. I will also find you a teacher to teach you how to act more appropriately, and I don't think you are ready for what I have in mind to tell you yet. Now go on, or I won't take you out for ramen at all this month. He threatens while Naruto begins to sweat comically. What, me complaining? I was just saying how much fun I'm gonna have pushing myself to the limit. He says immediately forgetting his complaints when his ramen was threatened. Time skip 1 year. It has been a full year since the day the Hokage got him the scrolls and started him off with his own physical workout plan. Along with his new and improved diet, he has been working himself to exhaustion every day. He is now 8 years old and a lot heavier than he was just 1 year ago, and not because he is fat. In fact, he is almost all muscle. He is a lot taller now, standing around 4 feet 6 inches, weighing about 90 pounds. He has a lot more muscle on him, but he is in no way bulky. He has a fairly flat and hard stomach, not a full-formed six-pack. If you really look you can see the faint outline of it, but he will need to grow into it more. His arms are now bigger and harder than they were before. They are really good size for his age and size. Other than that, he still has the same spiky blonde hair that barely reaches to his shoulders. His eyes are probably what's changed the most, not the color though, just the emotions that you can pick up from them. He is definitely good looking in any girl's or woman's eyes. He has mastered the tree walking exercise and all the ninjutsu he was given. All except the bunshin. Having too much chakra for such a low chakra draining technique could do that to you. Instead he was given the cage bunshin. A solid clone technique that is better than the original technique anyway. His taijutsu is also very good for a kid who hasn't even entered the academy yet. Having his gravity seal at level 10 helps with that. Surprisingly enough, this is his best skill so far, just barely above his. He mastered the basics of seals and has done a lot of calligraphy to make his hand much more steady. Having good teachers can do that for you though, add to the fact that he practically sucks up information like a sponge. He has only one under his belt, and that is to cover his scars. He also applied a seal that will hold them up for him. It took a lot of work, and it holds a lot of his chakra back, but having huge reserves takes away that issue. His teachers were Anko Mitarashi for taijutsu, Yugao Yuzuki for, and Kurenai Yuuhi for. His teacher on how to stay calm and act like a real ninja was none other than Tsum and Yuzuka, all banded together to help him improve his aim with throwing weapons along with anatomy, to know where to hit with needles to do the most damage and paralyze people. They also taught him more about herbs and poisons, although just the basics, and gave him the books to learn on his own. He was also taught more advanced trap-making skills, as he was already a natural. His already good stealth had also improved with the proper training. He also knows the basics of how to dispel and how to find if he is in one, but his amount of chakra is just too much to learn much of actually making any, other than the most chakra-draining ones. Anko, Kurenai, and Yugao were all great friends and always talked to one another about everything. They have all started to respect and admire the younger blonde boy for his mental strength and his amazing determination. Anko was the one who truly admired him the most, and the others would often tease her about being in love with the boy getting a nice pink blush from her. Tsum was his teacher because she knows how to be forceful and can get her point across easily. She had also really respected the young boy as well as she was friends with his parents, and she had thought of introducing her kids to him and maybe get him into her family with Hana. She can sense the alpha in him, and him being kind and respectful towards women helped out a lot too, so she thought he would be perfect for Hana. The two had actually met, and Hana definitely saw all the good in Naruto and had become quite taken with the slightly younger boy. She had also met Anko and the others, and she was a bit competitive with Anko, as her clan is quite possessive with the ones they like, and she knew that Anko liked him too. But Anko wasn't going to lose what she really liked either. Other than learning all of those skills, he also worked with his chains. They were upgraded by Kaiashi on the day of his beating to a crimson color. They were made stronger than any other Uzumaki's chains that ever existed, even stronger than his mother's. He has trained them to move in any direction at any time, and he can make them go through his feet into the ground. He has also been having some thoughts about his extremely attractive teacher Anko. Anko has dark purple hair that he holds up behind her head, making a pineapple-like shape. She wears a brown trench coat over a fishnet shirt that leaves little to the imagination. He has tried to get her to wear something more to cover up her C-cup breasts because he didn't want anyone else looking at her. Of course though, she would just tease him relentlessly, usually leaving him with a bloody nose and a cherry red face. She also wears a burnt orange short skirt that is a little too short, but he has to admit he likes it. What he really likes though is her personality, it being somewhat similar to his own. Kurenai is also a stunning woman with a brunette hair color that goes to the middle of her back. She has beautiful crimson eyes that also remind him of his chains and Kayoshi's eyes and hair. With all the crimson, it has quickly become his favorite color. She is calm and collected and hates perverts. Which is why he tries not to stare too much at women. She wears a red dress that is pretty tight and squeezes her B-cup breasts. She also has some white tape on her legs and arms. He sees her as more of a sister figure like his other senses, except for Tsume who is like a bossy mother to him, not that he would ever admit that. Yuigao is a bit different from the other two. She has a similar hair color to Anko, but she keeps hers down. She is a bit quiet but is also loyal to a fault. She wears standard hanbok gear and wears the Nico mask. Tsume is a feral-looking woman that has relatively short and spiky brown hair. On her cheeks are the traditional red marks, similar to all the Inyazukas. She is a bit rough around the edges, but Naruto doesn't care, he still sees her like a mother to him, and he can see the concern she has for him, even if she acts all tough. Kyoshi was also around and helped cover any of the little things that Tsume may have missed. Naruto also found himself getting these weird feelings towards her and Anko, as well as Aim. He would have to talk to the old man about it later, but right now he is headed to his first day at the Ninja Academy. Naruto has also developed a strong bond with the Sandame's grandson Konohamaru when they were introduced as he was hoping to make a good friend. Konohamaru always enjoys his time with Naruto and has called him his brother many times, which makes Naruto very happy as he has always wondered what it would be like to have a family. Thanks for walking along on his way to the academy dressed in a black skin-tight t-shirt with black pants on. He also has his short-sleeved black trench coat with the crimson fur on the inside on and left it open. He has his katana at his side and his wakizashi strapped horizontally to his lower back with a belt that holds his coat closed. He was just minding his own business when he saw someone nearby. He sees a girl his age whimpering quietly walking in the same direction as him while looking around almost frantically. She has dark blue almost black hair with pale white eyes. She is wearing a heavy-looking beige jacket that makes it hard to tell how developed she is while wearing some dark blue ninja pants. All in all, Naruto finds her to be quite cute. "Hey, what's wrong?" he asks quietly as he walks closer to her. "Yep," she squeaks, not hearing him approach her at all. She finds him to be quite stealthy. The girl turns around while wiping a stray tear from her eye and then stares at the boy. She instantly looks away with a mild blush on her face. She recognizes this boy, she has seen him running through the village pulling a woman who is dressed very inappropriately, in her mind, through the village while she was standing on a heavy-looking wagon filled with rocks. That would be Anko's style of workout, alright. She was curious about him and followed him around that day. Ever since then she has been watching him from a distance. She really admires his strength and never gives up. "Hello, how are you doing today?" she asks quietly and shyly. If Naruto didn't have enhanced senses he would not have heard it at all. "Am I doing well? What about you, and why are you looking all over the place?" he replies back soothingly, trying to calm the nice girl down. "I was going to the Ninja Academy for my first day, but I'm scared. What if I'm not good enough? If I don't do good their father will be very angry with me and I won't have any friends." The girl replies sadly, thinking this handsome boy would be the same as she was thinking. "Is that all?" he replies, smiling his fox-like smile, making her heart turn to mush. "I'm on my way there too and I can help you out, no problem. I think that you'll be a great ninja if you work really hard at it. My name is Naruto, by the way, Naruto Uzumaki. It's nice to meet you," he says politely while trailing off, hoping for her to tell him her name. "My name is Hinata Hyuga, heiress of the Hyuga clan." She responds meekly as she remembered her father telling her that it is okay if she associates with this boy, but she never knew why he would allow it, not that she would complain. "Hyuga, huh, I think I've heard that name somewhere before. You guys have the Byakugan, right?" he asks her curiously while they both continue towards the Ninja Academy. "Yes, we do. I haven't activated mine yet though, I think my father is displeased with me," she says while looking down and getting sad. "What will Naruto-kun think of me if I can't even activate my bloodline? He must think I'm really weak and pathetic, just like Niji." "No need to worry, Hinata-chan, I'm sure you will get stronger soon enough. You just need to work hard and build up your confidence. I'm sure you will be a great kunoichi someday," he says with a smile that takes her breath away. "Thank you, Naruto-kun," she says after a couple minutes of processing what he just said to her. "He believes in me and thinks I'm going to be strong. I can't let him down. I have to be strong and then maybe he will like me as much as I like him," she thought with the reddest face you could possibly imagine. She had always wished to be like this boy and has come to truly love every little thing about him in the time she spent observing him. They soon make it to the academy to see a bunch of students entering the building all at once, crowding the place. Naruto and Hinata make their way into the doors and head to their class, both secretly wanting to be in the same class. Naruto finds Hinata to be cute and interesting, he also feels the need to help her with her confidence. Hinata's reason is a little obvious, she wants to be by his side all the time and get close to him. Soon they both find themselves in front of one of the rooms in the building for new students just starting the academy. "Hey, are you going to this room too, Hinata-chan?" Naruto asks his traveling companion. "This is great, maybe we are in the same class and we can be friends. My senseis did tell me I need friends my age. I want more than just Kiba after all." Tsume had told him about her son, hoping that they would become good friends so she can get him and Hana together later. "I am Naruto-kun, I guess this means we are in the same class together," she replies shyly. This is great. The next 5 years in the academy with Naruto-kun, sitting next to him every day. I have to work on my confidence and be strong to hopefully get together with him by the end of the academy. She thinks to herself with a beautiful pink tinge to her face. I guess it is Hinata-chan, which is great. Me and you are going to pass this and become great ninja, I'm sure of it. He is full of confidence, making Hinata a little jealous that she is not that confident, but she still respects him for it. They then enter the room together with Naruto opening the door for Hinata getting a smile from her, and they both look at all the ninja hopefuls. Only about half the class stands out to them. There is a boy with a little white dog on his head sitting with his head on the desk. He seems to have similar red marks on his cheeks that Tsume and the other Inyazukas have. There's Kiba, Naruto thinks. He is wearing a grey hooded jacket with black fur in the hood. The jacket is zipped up all the way, almost hiding the fishnet shirt under it completely. There is a boy sitting next to him with his hair up in a pineapple-like shape similar to Anko's. His hair is black though, he wears an open light grey jacket with a tight fishnet shirt under it. He seems to be sleeping on his desk next to Kiba. He learned from the old man his name was Shikamaru Nara. He actually knows all the kids' names in the class, having asked for them. Next to Shikamaru is a slightly chubby boy wearing a green jacket opened up with a beige shirt underneath it. He also had a white scarf around his neck. This would be Choji Akamichi. Up in a secluded desk all by himself is a guy wearing a big green jacket with a hood on his head. He has brown hair that is straight and hangs out of the hood a little. He is wearing some small black sunglasses and has a stoic look on his face. Naruto's gaze rests on him for a while, that is Shino Aburum. He is the heir to the Aburum clan. He is interested to get to know him due to hearing of the stoic attitude of most Aburums. On the other side of the room are a pink-haired girl wearing a red dress that hangs over some short blue ninja shorts. She has green sparkling eyes and seems to be eyeing some black-haired boy not far from her. The girl's name is Sakura Haruno, not that she is important, she seems to be too thin and frail. Probably because of the boy she is staring at. Fangirl Naruto thinks to himself she probably won't be a good ninja at all. She's cute but not cute enough for him to start going for fangirls. Next to her is a pretty-looking girl with light blonde hair and teal-colored eyes. She is wearing a purple shirt that ends halfway down her stomach. Covering her stomach is some white medical tape. She also wore a purple-colored skirt to match her shirt. On her arms are wide armbands that only show off a small amount of her shoulders. She is also staring at the black-haired boy across from them. She is not watching as intently as Sakura, but she is staring a bit. Her name is Ino Yamanaka. The black-haired boy they are staring at seems to be brooding with his hands latched together holding his head up. He has black hair that, to Naruto, is shaped like a duck's ass. He is wearing a blue shirt with the Uchiha clan symbol on the back of it. He also has similar armbands to Ino. He has white shorts on and looks mean and indifferent to the two girls staring at him. That is Sasuke Uchiha. His family was killed by his older brother not too long before the academy started, because of that he just sits quietly and broods all the time, so not many girls are too interested in him at all. Only Sakura seems infatuated and Ino has a small crush that will probably end sometime later. In front of the class was a man wearing the standard outfit. He had brown hair and a ponytail. He also had the Konoha headband on with a blue cloth holding the plate on his head. This was their primary instructor, Iruka. There was another man talking to him, possibly about the curriculum and the new students. He had light blue hair, it was almost white. He had his high headband, not sure how to spell it, as a bandana with the plate on the front of his head. His name is Mizuki, they both then turned to the class after a short conversation. Alright class, settle down and everyone takes a seat. Naruto and Hinata head up to where Shino is sitting. Iruka says politely, not seeing the angry glare that Mizuki is sending towards the back of his head. Hey, my name is Naruto Uzumaki and this is my friend Hinata Hyuga. What's your name? He asks when he sits next to the hooded guy who seems surprised at his introduction. Being an Aburum, people think they are weird being able to talk and control bugs from inside their bodies. I am Shino Aburum, Naruto-san. It is nice to meet your acquaintance, Hinata-san. He says in a monotone voice while on the inside he is curious about the boy next to him. Shino doesn't have any friends other than his insects, so he always wanted a friend to talk to, but just waited for someone to start up the conversation. Nice to meet you in Shino-san. Hinata replies softly, also seeing earlier that he was sitting alone and feeling a little sad, but also relieved that she isn't the only one who felt all alone. The three of us are going to be great friends. She finishes in her mind happily. It is nice to meet you as well, Shino. Hopefully we will be great friends and ninja together, and please just call me Naruto. He says calmly, trying to stay focused in school to learn. Their thoughts were interrupted by Iruka. Alright, this is the Ninja Academy, and we will be teaching you how to be a successful ninja of the Leaf Village. I am Iruka Yamino, and this is my assistant Mizuki. We will now go through a roll call. Shino Aburam, followed by a quiet present. This went on until Naruto Uzumaki. Iruka didn't hate the boy, but he still didn't trust him very much. Nonetheless, he called his name calmly and nicely, receiving a here. He would treat him like any other student and try to be fair to him. He has heard the stories about his abuse, all of the ninja in the village have. Most of the ninja respect his strength, knowing how hard it is to stay sane in the cruel ninja world. Only a small percentage actually didn't like him, while some were indifferent. Mizuki is probably the only one to actually hate his guts anymore though. In the first year we are going to learn about the history of the Leaf Village. Followed by some regular lessons on economics, maths, writing, and some of the other civilian teachings that everyone should know. The second year will be a little bit more advanced civilian teaching, and we will begin some physical skills and more hands-on learning, like kunai and shuriken throwing. We will also be doing some exercises and outdoor survival teaching along with stealth and how to lead a team. The third year will be the starting of some basic taijutsu and muscle building workouts. We will also work on some speed and refining your stealth. The fourth year will be ninjutsu theory, followed by teaching the most basic that may just save your life in any battle. We will work on those until you have mastered them completely. The fifth and final year we will be putting all the ninja fields together and reviewing the academy. We will refine your speed, strength, and taijutsu and prepare you for your ninja career. Time skip 5 years. Naruto, wearing his normal clothes with his katana and wakizashi in the normal places at his side and horizontally on his back respectively, is seen walking around the village. He is now 13 years old but looks older, around 16 or 17. He is basically a clone of the 4th Hokage, but with whisker marks on his cheeks. He is around 6'5", weighing about 250 pounds of mostly muscle. His six-pack is now fully defined to the point that it looks like Kami carved it from the hardest stone imaginable and sculpted a masterpiece. He is ripped, with bulging biceps that are not too big, but just perfect in a woman's eyes. His hair is still around shoulder length, not wanting it to get too long, but it is still as spiky and untamed as it always was. His beautiful blue eyes make any woman almost faint from the sight of him looking over at them. His innocent expressions force them to do everything in their power not to jump him on the spot. He has made a good impression on the teachers of the academy, most of them, even the ones that didn't necessarily like him, say he is easily at low to mid-level. He is downright deadly, most people would hate to go head-to-head in a sword fight with him. His taijutsu is also really good, but not as good as his. His ninjutsu is advanced due to his work on his chakra control and Kage Bunshin. He has a pretty strong set of his senses, having been taught the secret of Kage Bunshin. He still only has the one strong from Kurenai to hide his scars with, other than that nothing that is effective works for him. He has also become quite adept as well. He is not a master by any means, but he can tell a lot of different seals out from others and eventually break them down and learn how they work. He is easy, maybe even, but he purposely let his academics drop a bit after that, aiming to be just average. He really just wanted to stay with his best friends Kiba, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, Hinata, and Shino. He had made a lot of progress towards the civilians as well in the village, with about 55% respecting him and liking him. Around 15% still don't like him, but leave him alone, and the last 30% are just plain indifferent. Hinata and Shino have become closer to Naruto also. Hinata is in love, but she has been all along. Shino has found a good friendship between them, as Naruto constantly defended him against some bullies, even if he didn't ask or need him to do so. He sees him as a great person and friend, and he also knows how Hinata feels about him, but has chosen to keep it to himself. Hinata has grown much better as a ninja in person. She is much more confident, not stuttering at all around anyone anymore. She is one of the best girls in the class. Shino has also become more outgoing due to being around Naruto for the 5 years they were friends. He now talks much more than he did, not just talking when he felt he had something relevant to add. Kiba quickly became one of Naruto's best friends in the academy also. He is loyal and always helps out, it is probably because he can sense the alpha material in Naruto. Akamaru, Kiba's companion, also likes Naruto and will obey him when needed. Naruto had gotten much closer to Hana as well, and he really likes her too, but he is conflicted at liking more than one girl. Hana has also talked to Anko and AM about sharing the blonde hot eye after a couple years of friendship with them because while the Inyazuka are territorial with their mates, they can also learn to share, but they will quickly attack any others that they don't approve of. The kids in the class see him as a really cool and nice guy and everyone at least gets along with him. All except Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke hates him because of his strength and that he is better than him and Sakura doesn't really hate him but she just follows Sasuke's horrible example. Naruto spent time during the 5 years getting some extra training on the side from his senseis from before the academy, becoming closer and closer to them, especially Anko. He is starting to get worried about having to choose one of the girls to date. That's why he is on his way to the Hokage Tower to ask his Jiji for help. When he gets to the Hokage Tower he greets the receptionist who is the same one who has been working there for the last 6 years now. They quickly became friends but nothing more than that. They got along quite well with each other. Then he sees the old man behind the desk grumbling. Something about paperwork and how it is the bane of his existence. Hey, Jiji. I came to ask you for some help. Oh, and what do you need help with, Naruto-kun? He asks, genuinely curious. Well, I wanted some advice. I really came to like my sensei Anko, but I also like Hinata from the academy and Hana Inyazuka and AM from Ichiraku's. I was wondering if you knew what I should do. He asks timidly, a little embarrassed to be asking him a question like that. The old man just grins at his grandson's predicament, knowing full well what he is going to say to him. He is trying his best to hold his laughter for when he sees the look on his face. Date them all, he says simply. What? I can't do that to them, they deserve better than that, and besides they hate perverts. There is no way they would agree to share with me. He says, frowning. Remember what I told you all those years ago, something about me telling you when you're older. Well, that time is now, you see, you are the last of the Uzumaki bloodline. It is much too rare to die out, so the council has agreed to place you under the Craw. That is short for the Clan Restoration Act, and you will need to marry multiple women. Naruto just blanks out and stares for a while, then does what most would do. Passed out. Well, that went well. The old man thinks while laughing uncontrollably. Shortly later Naruto wakes up and looks around to find himself on the ground in front of the Hokage's desk. Wow, old man, I just had the craziest dream ever. I came to you and asked for dating advice and you told me I was under some Clan Restoration Act or something. He says, shaking his head from the haze. I did, Naruto-kun, you need at least 5 to 7 wives. He says calmly, while grumbling about young and lucky bastards. Naruto's jaw hits the ground at that. 5 to 7 wives. That is a little ridiculous to him, but if he has to have at least 5 wives, then all the girls he likes will be with him and maybe more that he meets along the way. Am I going to be included in your harem, Naruto-kun? Kaiashi purrs to him suggestively, while hoping for a yes. If that makes you happy, Haim. Thinking to her teasingly while happy that she wants to be his first wife. They have gotten very close in the last couple years and talked every day. Iwubi blushes like crazy at being called princess and is also letting tears of joy fall from her beautiful face. I have finally found the one, the perfect person for me to be mates with. This is the best day of my life. She thinks happily while running around and grabbing a nearby baby fox. He loves me, he really loves Kitsune-chan, I'm so happy. She yells while holding the young baby fox, while the fox just wags its tail in happiness for its friend. Now that his problem is solved, Naruto heads to the academy for his final test. The test that will make him into a full-grown ninja in the eye of the village. The test will be the very first step in attaining his dreams. Chapter 5. Naruto is now headed to Hinata's house to pick her up and walk to the academy together like they do every day. Good morning, Naruto-kun, ready for us to become genin? She asks confidently as she has really changed to the liking of her clan and herself. Her father had been very encouraging of her being close to Naruto, even if the elders are not too pleased about the situation. Hell yay, Hinata-chan. I've been ready for years now. So let's hurry to Shino's house and get him. He replies confidently and they head out on their way. They have been doing this together for years now, so she just nods and follows him. As they approach the Aburam clan home, they see Shino waiting for them patiently like he always does. Naruto sees him and smiles. Hey Shino, how are you today? I'm good, Naruto. How are you and Hinata-chan doing today? I'm doing well today, Shino-kun. Thanks for asking. Hinata replies, while she is inwardly nervous. This was the day that she would confess her feelings for Naruto. I wonder how he'll take it. She wonders. I'm good too, so are you ready to make genin? He asks as they begin their journey to the academy. I think all of us are going to make it no problem. I think I am ready for Naruto, but you have been ready to be at least for a couple years now, maybe more, and everyone knows it at the academy. Shino replies with a light chuckle as Hinata joins in giggling too as they continue on their way. They soon enter the academy and sit in their normal seats that they have always sat in ever since they first met on the first day. They always enjoyed sitting in the back of the class and talking to each other and their other friends, while Iruka-sensei taught the others the things they already knew. "Hey Naruto. What's up bro, are you ready to pass this test and become a ninja?" A voice calls out and Naruto turns to look at his best friend Kiba. "Hey Kiba, I'm 100% sure I'm gonna pass, and I'm doing good today. How about you and Akamaru, think you're gonna pass?" He questions back with a smile. "Of course we're gonna pass Naruto, what do you take us for?" Kiba replies back with a laugh, which Naruto joins in on and Shino, Hinata, and him take their seats after wishing him luck. "Troublesome, hey Naruto how's it going?" His good friend Shikamaru replies from in front of him sounding bored. "Hey Shika, I'm good, how about you? So you're gonna pass or just say it's too troublesome and give up?" Is his humorous reply with a hint of sarcasm, meaning it to be a joke and not an insult. Shikamaru just grins at his friend's comment and replies, "You know my mom, it would be way too troublesome to hear her nag about me failing this test, so I guess I have to pass." "Well I know you don't need it, but good luck anyway man." Naruto says back as he knew about the Nara clan, having been invited over before. "Alright, class settles down." Iruka says trying to calm the teens down doesn't work. "Quiet down please." "Still nothing, shut up you idiots, I'm talking to you," he screams with his patented big head. Seeing the fear-stricken students' faces is always hilarious, which is another reason he likes to do that to them. Seeing that they are calm he begins, "Alright class, today is the final day of the Ninja Academy. I just want to say it's been an honor teaching you all these last 5 years. When I call your name you will follow me into the dojo for target practice and the academy." Shino Aburam gets up and starts to walk up but feels someone grab his arm and turn around. "Good luck Shino," Naruto says, and Shino just nods in understanding with a quick thank you to his friend. Shortly later he comes out with a smile on his normally stoic face and goes to Naruto and gets congratulated. This goes on for a while, with Naruto giving Hinata a kiss on the cheek and she also passes the test. Naruto Uzumaki then stands up but feels an arm grab him, Hinata was hanging on his arm and she kisses him on the cheek. He blushes a bit but can stand up to it more with all the teasing he gets from Enko, Kaiyoshi, AM, and Hana. "Good luck Naruto-kun," she says with a beautiful pink tint to her face and a smile. "Don't worry so much you, I'll pass no problem, then we'll all go out to dinner, my treat," he replies as he is walking away. Naruto enters the dojo to see Iruka smiling at him and he smiles back. He then notices Mizuki glaring at him from behind Iruka and mentally frowns. He has always treated him a bit unfairly from then on. "Alright, you have 10 kunai and 10 shuriken each, you have to hit the targets from 30 meters away. 10 points for every bullseye, 7 for other miscellaneous kill shots. You need at least 70 points to pass on each, not like that's a problem though, you always do way better than that." Iruka finishes smiling. "Good luck." Naruto heads to the line and slows his breathing, he feels the weight of the in his hands and pictures where he wants to hit the targets. After a short while he lets them all fly at the same time. All 10 sail through the air at a good speed and great balance. They each impact the target and Naruto just turns around for the shuriken to see the faces of his instructors. Both of their jaws are now touching the ground. He just got a perfect score, each one of the kunai hitting the middle circle of the target. 100 points, huh, that's my best yet. Awesome. Naruto nods happily. "You just got 100 points, how is that possible?" 70, I could see, but 100, that's highly advanced, especially for throwing them all at the same time. Iruka states in disbelief. Mizuki just looks pissed off, "Damn demon, I need him to get the forbidden scroll of sealing, how can I convince him if he doesn't fail?" He keeps to himself. "Well, I'll record that for the record books, here are the 10 shuriken now. Throw them whenever you are ready," Iruka says proudly. "Alright," Naruto says as he takes the shuriken and heads back to the same line he was at before. Concentrating once again, he looks to the targets with all the shuriken in his hands. Soon, he lets them fly and like the kunai he gets perfect scores. The teachers are now gaping, it wasn't luck like they thought after all, he is really that good. "Congratulations Naruto, but you're not done yet, you have to do the henge, kawarimi, and the bunshin," Iruka stated proudly. "Alright, easy," he replies as he enters Mizuki and replaces himself with the desk both of them were sitting behind. "Can I do a different bunshin though, I have too much chakra to perform the regular one?" he asks with his voice filled with hope. "I suppose that's okay Naruto, any type you know will do," Iruka replies kindly, while Mizuki is fuming inwardly. He would have to find someone else to get the scroll. "Sweet, then here goes Kage Bunshin," Naruto says as 15 solid clones appear in the room in perfect rows of 5, with 3 in each row. "Kage Bunshins, how on earth did you learn that? That's a level bunshin. Who taught that to you?" Mizuki questions, barely hiding the venom in his voice. Naruto and Iruka can sense a little of the hostility and frown. Anko taught it to me when I couldn't perform the regular bunshin, and I just asked her for help. The Hokage said that it would be alright if I learned it too. He replies calmly, not letting the man's words get him down. Well, either way you pass Naruto. Congratulations. Iruka replies happily and hands him a Naruto accepts it and switches the regular blue cloth for a crimson one and puts it on his head and spins it so the plate is on the left side of his head instead of on his forehead. Naruto then enters the regular classroom with his best smile, making most of the girls blush from his good looks. He actually had many fangirls in the village instead of Sasuke because of how he acts all the time. He takes his seat in between his two best friends and they congratulate him on a job well done. Hey Naruto, how many points did you get on the target practice test? Hinata whispers while Shino listens in as they were both wondering how good he did on the test. I got 200 points. He whispers back like it's no big deal and grins both of their shocked faces. Team placements will be next week in the same spot around 8:30 am, so don't miss them for anything. Iruka states as the new genin leaves the school as he watches them all leave while smiling happily. But the day at the academy done, Hinata, Shino, and Naruto head over to his favorite spot, Ichiraku's. Hey Am-chan, can the new ninja of the leaf get some service over here? Naruto asks playfully as he sits down. Am then looks at him and smiles while walking to the other side of the counter and hugging him tightly. This didn't seem to sit well with Hinata as she glared at her for a bit before letting it go, as she just hoped it was a brother and sister type bond. Am saw this and was a bit worried as she, Hana, and Anko were going to try and share him, but she was just a normal ramen girl and not a ninja. She felt like she would lose him to the others and didn't really want any more girls in their group. Congratulations Naruto-kun, you too, Hinata-chan and Shino-kun. She said, shaking off her mountain of mixed feelings. Thanks, they all reply together while Naruto gives her a tight hug, making her blush a bit as she sees him blush too, giving her a lot of hope. Am then gets to work on their usual orders, seeing them eat there often makes her remember them by heart. So, do you two know of anybody who didn't pass the test of our grade? Naruto asks. He had heard about the fangirls all failing. Well, most of your fangirls failed along with Sakura Haruno. Shino replies while somewhat happy that they will have less fangirls to deal with. Yay, that's all I heard too. Hinata adds in. Yeah, that's about all I heard too. Maybe if they would have trained harder they could have passed with us, but there's always next time. Shortly after they get their food and start to eat while talking about everyday things. Suddenly Kiba with Akamaru, Choji, and Shikamaru all ran into the stand wearing their new headbands in a hurry. Hey Naruto, you know that one girl, Sakura Haruno, right? She stole the forbidden scroll of sealing, and the Hokage is ordering all ninja available to find her. Kiba says quickly while also trying to catch his breath. Well, catch your breath for a while, me, Shino, and Hinata will head out to search for her. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to catch your breath and then go the opposite way that we go. Stick together and don't try to scare her off too much alright, Hinata, Shino, time to go. Naruto states in a serious voice, the voice of a true leader. All of his friends obey him without question, and the group of 3, 2 boys and a girl head out followed 5 minutes later by another group of 3, this one all guys. Alright you two, Hinata-chan I need you to activate your and search all around for Sakura. Shino I need you to send your bugs out in all the directions we aren't currently going towards. I will also send out cage bunchins to search as well, understand? He says calmly while his 2 teammates just follow his orders with no hesitation. Something about the blonde just made you want to help him in any way you could. Hi they both respond and get to their tasks. I will alert you if my bugs find anything, Shino says calmly. After spending around 15 minutes Shino's bugs finally spot Sakura. Naruto, Sakura are about a mile to our east looking through the forbidden scroll. He says calmly. Alright, good job Shino, can you see her Hinata-chan? Naruto asks. Hi, but that's not all. It seems like Mizuki and Iruka-sensei are on their way towards her also. I estimate that Iruka will be there in 1 minute and Mizuki in 2. She says quickly while trying to catch her breath. Alright we should be there in about 4.5 or 5 minutes if we hurry, start channeling more chakra to your legs and let go. However, he sees they are tired, never mind you two, you should rest up and I'll go on ahead alone. What, but we want to help you, we aren't too tired. Hinata says, trying to convince him to stay. He's right Hinata-chan, we won't make it in time, with his stamina he will make it, plus there are 2 senseis there to help. He will be fine. Shino says acting as the voice of reason even if he wants to go too. Seeing his point, she reluctantly agrees, alright you go ahead and we'll catch up later. The 2 friends then sit down and watch him disappear into the night. Be safe please Naruto-kun Hinata thinks. Naruto soon makes it to see Mizuki up in a tree and Iruka against an old shack with kunai surrounding him and one deep into his left leg. Sakura, don't give him the scroll, he is trying to trick you to take. Iruka yells out. Don't listen to him, Sakura, he is just trying to make it so you can't get Sasuke. He doesn't want you to find the man of your dreams. Mizuki says equally as loud as Iruka, and the worst part is Sakura is believing him. I'll get Sasuke-kun to love me, no problem. Iruka-sensei must be jealous that I found true love and he didn't. She screeches dumbly, only with slight hesitation as she is really scared. She then starts walking over to the tree Mizuki is in and is about to throw the scroll up to him. Hey Sakura, I wouldn't give that scroll to him, he is a traitor to the village and you're just playing right into his hands. Naruto calmly states as he walks out into the open, getting everyone's attention on him. Haha, the demon, huh, I never thought I would see you here. Mizuki taunts him. You probably want the scroll for yourself, but first, tell me, do you know why people seem to hate you? Mizuki asks. Why? Naruto asks, pretending to not know, even though he has known for many years now. Mizuki, no, it's against the Sandame's law, it's forbidden. Iruka yells, hoping to stop him from telling the truth to Naruto. 13 years ago the nine-tailed fox attacked our village and killed many of our civilians and ninja. The beast was said to be unstoppable, there was no way the fourth Hokage could kill the fox, so he sealed it away into a baby boy. You were that boy, Naruto, you are the nine-tailed fox. Mizuki yells and starts laughing like a crazy person. Well, what, he is the fox? Sakura asks, getting confused and really scared. She never really liked Naruto, he always beat Sasuke in their spars. If Mizuki is saying he is the nine-tailed fox, then it must be true. He's a demon, I have to spread the word to everyone and then Sasuke-kun will love me. He must have been cheating in all of those spars anyway. She thinks dumbly. Aha, you're one hell of a fool, Mizuki. Me and Kaioshin-chan are completely different beings. I've already known about the fox for about 6 years. Naruto finally admits. This seems to make Mizuki angry, really then? Well, I guess it's time to kill you demons. He says as he grabs his giant shuriken off his back, getting ready to throw it. He then does, but something unexpected for everyone happens as Naruto is reaching for his katana and readying a technique with his chakra chains. Shino and Hinata jump in front of him and each throw a kunai to deflect the giant shuriken. Now Naruto is worried, what if they heard what he said, will they still like me? He thought sadly, but he realized that it's not the time to be depressed, so he issued his orders. Shino, Hinata-chan, go and get Sakura and the scroll back to the Hokage while me and Iruka stay to fight. He says calmly, while still a bit scared of their reaction to him. They both look back at him and he can tell that they don't think any differently about him, which makes him very happy inside. Alright Naruto-kun, right away. Hinata replies, let's go Shino-kun. Seeing his nod, both of them go to grab Sakura. When she resists, Hinata is forced to knock her out while Shino takes the scroll. Hey, give me that scroll. Mizuki commands as he jumps as fast as he can at the unsuspecting friends. Too bad he wasn't fast enough as Naruto hit him from the side. If you ever lay a hand on Hinata-chan or Shino, I'll kill you. Naruto says in a voice that would make any sane man wet himself, but it reassures his two friends that he is truly a good person and a great friend. Unfortunately, Mizuki is not a sane man at all. Oh, really now? What are you gonna do to stop me? I'll destroy you with one punch. He yells arrogantly, completely missing the fact that Hinata and Shino are long gone now. Try it, fool, give me your best shot and I'll return it 1,000-fold. Naruto states in the same tone as earlier. Page Bunshin, Naruto called out and Mizuki's eyes then widened in fear. All around were hundreds of shadow clones. They are covering the area all around, in the trees and on the ground. Well, Mizuki team, if you're just gonna stand there, I guess we'll come to you, and Mizuki's eyes widen as they see all the clones waiting and watching Mizuki. Incredible, he can make this many and still keep going. Iruka thinks to himself as he watches in awe. What the hell, this must be the demon's power at work. Mizuki thinks as if he could only stare in fear and wait for the beating of a lifetime. He doesn't have to wait long as all the clones jump down on him and start punching and kicking away at him, leaving only a bruised body in the shape of Mizuki left on the ground. Maybe I overdid it a little bit. Naruto says, scratching the back of his head after the massive beatdown. That was incredible, Naruto, good thing you made it here when you did, I could have been much worse off if you didn't. Iruka says honestly. Come on, you can help take me to the hospital, I'm sure Hinata and Shino have already made it back to the Hokage and are fixing the problem. Once they make it to the hospital, Hiruzen is outside waiting for them with a couple of medics as he stares proudly at Naruto. I see you have made it back in one piece, Iruka-kun. He said to them happily. Iruka just smiles sheepishly as Naruto grins brightly. I did it with Naruto's help, Hokage-sama. Without him, I surely would have died there. He said with gratitude while Naruto began to blush a bit in embarrassment at their proud looks. Ah, yes. I had heard of the success. "I'm proud of you Naruto-kun, and I'm sure your clan and your parents would be proud as well," he said happily as the medics took Iruka away. "I had also received the Hidden Villages scroll from Shino-kun and Hinata-chan, along with Sakura Haruno. What will happen to her anyway? She has still failed, I'm afraid, and even if she somehow took the scroll, she can't pass," he stated simply. "Now head on home and be ready to be placed on a team tomorrow, Naruto-kun." In the Hokage's office the next day, there are a bunch of people standing patiently in front of Hiruzen's desk. "Hey, Nai-chan, can you believe it? The Hokage is giving me a chance to be a sensei." Anko asks, standing next to all her friends, pretty much bouncing up and down in excitement. She had really always wanted to be a sensei and attain rank, but the council had turned her down all the time. Thankfully, the Hokage had finally gotten it through and she was now proud. In honor of her new promotion, she had decided to cover up a bit and she wore the standard jacket proudly as she could now show off her new rank. Secretly though, she had put something on so Naruto would be happy that she wouldn't be showing so much. She also changed her burnt orange skirt to mid-thigh burnt orange shorts instead. "I think you would make a great sensei Anko-chan, just try not to hurt them too much," Kurenai says playfully with a small giggle, with Hana and Yugao joining in on. "Oh, that's no fun Nai-chan, I won't have my team considered weak. It would make me look bad to the village, well worse anyway," she says getting a bit sad. She was always treated unfairly and hasn't had many people like her for being herself. The only ones she worried about liking her were Hana and Yuzuka, Sum and Yuzuka, Yugao Yuzuki, Kurenai Yuuhi and her favorite, Naruto Uzumaki. Kurenai, seeing this, tries to comfort her. "Don't listen to what the other people of the village think of Anko-chan," she whispers softly to her friend. "Think about Naruto-kun, he was hated, beaten, stabbed, burned, and other terrible things because of what he holds. If he can deal with that, then I know you can deal with this, you're a strong woman after all Anko-chan." "Yeah Anko-chan don't get so down you know we all love you," Hana adds in with Yugao nodding along with the other two women. Anko then starts to think and a smile comes to her face, not a sadistic creepy smile, but a beautiful genuine smile. "You're right Nai-chan, if Naruto-kun can handle it, then I can too. I also love you three like family as well." Naruto has truly become her rock and is a great inspiration to her. Ever since they met, his never give up attitude, no matter how hard things got motivated her and got her through the days. Without Naruto, she would have probably been depressed all the time and distance herself from everyone. "Alright, let's begin the assignment of the senseis." The elderly voice of the Sandaime Hokage calls out, shaking all the others in the room from their conversations and personal thoughts. Team 1 sensei will be, I'm skipping these until Team 7. Team 7 sensei will be Anko Mitarashi, teaching Kiba and Yuzuka, Sai, and Naruto Uzumaki. Purposely keeping a delay for mentioning Naruto's name, waiting to see how Anko will respond. "No way," Anko screams mentally, "did he just say I get to teach Naruto-kun? What? I get to teach Naruto-kun?" Anko screams happily and then blushes, hoping that nobody noticed the kun suffix of his name. "Kun? Is something going on between you and Naruto?" A lazy-sounding man with gravity-defying silver hair says to her. He wears his headband on a diagonal with it covering his left eye. He also has a black ninja mask covering his face up to the middle of his nose. "Shut up Kakashi." All the girls yell together, speaking in Anko's defense, making him even more sure that he is right. The increasing blush on her face helps too, not that he minded. He knew who Naruto was after all. "This is the best thing to ever happen to me," Anko says almost crying in joy while her friends all smile happily that their close friend and sister in all but blood is happy. They of course knew that she was in love with a little hot blonde, just like Hana was. Moving on, Team 8 sensei will be Kurenai Yuuhi teaching Shino Aburam, Hinata Hyuga, and Sasuke Uchiha. Team 9 is already made from last year, so Team 10 sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi teaching Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi. Chapter 6. In the classroom on the day of the team placements, Naruto and all his friends couldn't wait to see whose team they were on. Naruto and his friends were sitting at their usual spot in the class with Shino, and Hinata said she had to go to the bathroom. "But that situation with Mizuki, I didn't confess to him, I should do it after school today." Hinata thought with a blush as she washed up and thought of how she was going to do it. "I'm ready to do it, I will after school, I could ask him to take a walk with me and go to the Hokage monument." Hinata has now made her mind up about her little plan and starts to head into the classroom to her seat next to Naruto. What she didn't know is that as she moves towards Naruto, Sakura is telling everyone in the village that Naruto is a demon and that he should not be trusted. Some seemed to listen to her while some of the ones who had really changed for the better defended him. This seems to spread as the others, who seem to listen to the ones who say he is not the demon, but a good boy. This makes Sakura really angry. She stomps off going home because even with the forbidden scroll, she didn't have enough chakra to use anything in it. Damn these stupid villagers, they should be agreeing and praising me, not calling me a liar. Now Sasuke-kun won't like me anymore. Hinata sits down next to the curious-looking Naruto. So, what took you so long? Thinking about me, Naruto asks teasingly. She was gone for a while, and they never hide anything from each other, so he's really curious. Oh, nothing, Naruto-kun says, blushing a bit, only serving to make him more suspicious. Oh, please tell me, I promise I wouldn't tell anyone else. Naruto pleads, making his best puppy dog eyes look. Seeing the really cute look, she is forced to hold herself to her seat to stop herself from glomping onto him at how cute he is. Sorry, but you'll find out later, Naruto-kun, I promise. Hinata says while struggling to hold her resolve under his puppy dog eyes looking right at her. HMPH Naruto just looks away and pouts, weakening her resolve some more, but she sets up a perfect plan to break it to him, and she wants it to be perfect. I'm sure she will tell you, Naruto, just later, Shino replies, knowing what she is talking about and chuckles a bit at the interaction. Oh come on, you guys should know most of all that I hate surprises. I can't wait that long. He complains childishly, which only makes them and some others who overheard them chuckle more. They are all brought out of their thoughts when they hear, "Good morning class," or should I say Genin. Iruka says proudly, this was a fun group of students to teach. Alright everyone, I just want to say I'm very proud of all of you, and it was an honor to teach you all. Now let's start the team placements. Team 1 will be, I'm skipping until Team 7 like I did earlier. Team 7 will be Naruto Uzumaki, Kiba Inuzuka, and Sai under the Jounin sensei of Anko Midarashi. Naruto and Kiba are happy to be on the same team, and Naruto is happy about having Anko as their sensei, but he is a little sad that Hinata and Shino are not on his team, also he has never heard of the other person on their team. Hey, Iruka-sensei, who is Sai? Kiba asks, interrupting Iruka, probably wondering the same thing that Naruto is. Well, there weren't enough students to pass the test, so Hokage-sama had found a suitable Genin-level ninja and added him to your team. Oh, okay. Teammate will be Shino Aburam, Hinata Hyuga, and Sasuke Uchiha under the Jounin sensei Kurenai Yuhi. Team 9 is already made, so Team 10 will be composed of Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akimichi, and Shikamaru Nara under the Jounin sensei Asuma Sarutobi. Iruka finishes. Hinata and Shino are happy to at least be on each other's team, but are a little sad that Naruto isn't with them. They are also not too happy at having Sasuke on their team and are at least hoping that their sensei will keep him in line. They both already knew a little about their sensei, hearing that she is the mistress of Konoha, and Kurenai had brought Hinata to class sometimes. Ino Yamanaka is a little bit sad at not being on Sasuke's team, but has been having some second thoughts of pursuing him anyway. She just hopes that her other teammates are at least nice to hang out around. Choji and Shikamaru are happy too, they are just hoping to get along with Ino, while Shikamaru hopes that she is not bossy. Sasuke is absolutely indifferent to his teammates, just hoping they won't get in the way of his ambitions. Alright everyone, wait here for your senses to pick you up, and good luck in the future, and keep the village as your #1 thing to protect. Iruka says as he leaves the school. Alright, I'm gonna give all my super awesome entrance, you guys should go in first, and then I'll come in. Anko says with one of the biggest grins ever on her face. Ugh, fine, let's go then. Kurenai says as she leaves the Hokage's office. This is going to be so awesome, I can't wait to see the looks on Naruto-kun's face when he sees my amazing entrance. Anko thinks to herself happily, while hoping he really thinks it's cool. As the students are all waiting, a new kid comes into the room. He is a deathly pale white while wearing black ninja pants on, and he wears a short black jacket with red straps. Also on his back is a small backpack on. On his back is a tanto. The rest of his outfit consisted of shinobi sandals and gloves, with his index fingers and thumbs exposed. I am Sai. The boy says simply. I am to be placed on a team with Naruto Uzumaki and Kiba Inuzuka. Where are they? He questions even more stoically than Shino was before he met Naruto. That would be me, I'm Naruto, and the guy with the dog on his head is Kiba Inuzuka, and the dog would be Akamaru. Nice to meet you, Sai. Naruto responds kindly while looking over the new genin. Yay, it's nice to meet you as well. Kiba responds also, doing the same as Naruto does. Sai just nods and sits down to wait for the team sensei. Both of them find him a bit weird, and especially that he is wearing a jacket that only covers half of his torso, but they won't judge, and they hope they can get along. Shortly, a man with brown eyes, short, black spiky hair and a beard. His clothing consisted of the standard Konoha ninja uniform with the sleeves rolled up halfway, a flak jacket, regular shinobi sandals and forehead protector. He also wore the 12 Guardian Ninja sash that had the kanji for fire marked on it around his waist. Alright Team 10, you're with me, I am Asuma Sarutobi. Next to him was one of Naruto's old senseis, Kurenai Yuhi, and she was staring at him. He looked into her eyes and she looked back and waved happily at him, which he returned quickly. I am Kurina Yuuhi, and I am the sensei for team. She was cut off by two kunai flying through the window and sticking into the ceiling with a banner attached to them. A black blur then shot through the already broken window and landed in front of the banner that read, "The Great, the Powerful, the Sexy and Single Anko Mitarashi," revealing her with a shit-eating grin on her face. I am Anko Mitarashi, and I am Team 7 Sensei. She says loudly only to find the student staring at her like she has a second head. Woohoo, that was awesome Anko Sensei, it was perfect. Naruto yells out and starts clapping, making the woman blush and smile. He was also happy that she had finally covered herself up more so that no other guys could see her. That thought got him to blush a little as he was quite possessive of the women he likes. "Ha, I knew he would like it," Anko thought to herself. "Thanks Gaki, now gather the team and meet in front of training ground 44 in 30 minutes. She then jumps out the same window, leaving a somewhat fuming Kurenai because she was interrupted. "As I was saying before, I am Kurina Yuuhi, and I am teammate Sensei. Come with me," she says while walking away as Naruto and his teammates all jump out the broken window, but not before Hinata tells him to meet her later. "Alright guys, we have about 5 more minutes to get their legs to speed up a bit," Naruto says while taking charge and both comply with little thought. "Strange, I already feel at least in his presence." Sai thinks to himself. Danzo is his master, Sai is from Danzo's root program and is supposed to only do what Danzo commands. However, Naruto's orders remind him of his lost brother Shin. His voice doesn't have any type of fear laced into his words to force me to follow, strange indeed. He finishes his thoughts as they make it to where Anko told them to. Not bad, they made it in time, not too surprising with Naruto on this team. He is almost level already. Anko says mentally. "Well, good work getting here, we will introduce ourselves and then be done for the day, you guys will have a test tomorrow after all," she says with a grin that makes them all shiver. "I'll go first. I am Anko Mitarashi. I like my friends Kurenai-chan, Hana-chan, Yuga-chan, and Tsum-chan. I also love to eat dango and drink sake. I dislike perverts, rapists, traitors, child beaters, and anyone who judges people before even knowing them. My dream is to one day settle down with someone I love and have a big family. I'll go next then, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, I like foxes, ramen, my friends, the village, and training. I dislike child beaters, rapists, and people who threaten my friends and my village. My dream is to be a legendary ninja, known all over the world when I grow up. I also want to rebuild my clan and have a nice family with the ones I love." Naruto finishes determinedly getting smiles from Anko and Kiba, while Sai seems a bit conflicted. "Alright, name Kiba in Yuzuka, I like my friends, dogs, my companion Akamaru, and training. I dislike people who hurt animals and people who screech and are too loud, it hurts my ears. I also dislike traitors and people who threaten my friends and village. My dream is to be the best in Yuzuka clan head and to have a family." Kiba responds. "My name is Sai, I don't really know what I like and I don't dislike anything. I don't think I have any dreams." Sai finishes stoically while doing his best to think of something to say. Weird, everyone thinks together as they slowly come to terms with their weird student teammate. Okay then. Like I said, go home and rest up for tomorrow, you will all be having a test to see if I will train you or send you back to the academy crying. Meet here at 6 am tomorrow, Jana," she says and shunshuns out of there. "Alright then. I guess we better prepare for this test then, don't worry about it though, I'm sure if we work together we can pass the test," Naruto says and grins when he sees both of them nod. "Alright then, go home and rest and remember to get up early to get a good breakfast for tomorrow. I'll meet you guys here tomorrow," Naruto says and also shunshuns out of the area to his apartment to get ready to meet up with Hinata. On his way over to the spot where he was asked to meet up with Hinata, Naruto begins to think of how he will tell her and the other women he is interested in about the craw. "I wonder how they'll take it, I hope they don't try to beat me into the ground. I do remember the time Anko caught me staring at her though. He wasn't hit or anything, just tortured with her teasing, I wonder which I could stand more, beatings or Anko's teasing." He ponders seriously on his journey. In the distance he hears his name and looks to his beautiful friend coming towards him. "I thought we could talk a walk, the two of us, we will be much busier now that we are ninja, so let's have some fun," Hinata says, and then they begin their walk towards the Hokage monument. As they approach it, Naruto gets nervous, choosing to start his explanation of the craw. "Hinata," he says, getting her attention. "I have something to say and something to ask. You already know I have a bloodline, the Chakra chain's bloodline, which makes me the last known member of the Uzumaki clan, so in order for the Uzumaki clan to survive, I have to have multiple wives." He says, letting the information sink in. He then starts to get red and stutters out, "I have developed more than friend feelings for you over the long time we have known each other. I would like to date you, but I had to let you know about that before we went any farther." Looking over to her face, he sees her looking at him with a serious face, one that didn't show any anger. Then, she just smiled at him and began speaking. "Well, I guess I never thought of it like that, but I have had strong feelings for you, and I know that we can make things work out." Hinata says, almost tearing up at the special moment they are sharing together. "There's a little more I have to tell you," he says as he hugs her, hoping that she really understands what he has to do. He really does love her, and he could imagine himself with her forever. "I am required to have at least 5 to 7 wives in the future. I hope that you can still be with me, and I hope you can accept the others that I may come to love as well. I love you too much," he says as he tightens his grip on her. She isn't too surprised at what was said, as she was taught about how clans work and knew that he was the last of his. She also knows he will treat any woman that he comes to love equally. "Okay, Naruto-kun, I can accept that as long as you treat us all as equals. I love you too," she says, and quickly and passionately kisses him on the lips. After that, they sit on the fort's head and watch the sunset and have a good conversation. Both of them leave the mountain as happy as they could possibly get and head home for the night. The next morning, Naruto wakes up with a huge smile on his face, having remembered what happened yesterday. "Oh, I better see Kakashi-chan too," he says, and enters his mind. He begins searching for her and sees her sleeping in a hammock in the forest. He gently creeps up to her and sees how cute she looks while sleeping and almost decides to let her sleep, but he kisses her on the lips anyway. She begins to open her eyes and kisses him back. I could wake up this way every day," she says suggestively with a genuine smile on her face. "What's up with Naruto-kun?" she asks curiously, as she can tell he looks a bit nervous. "I have talked to Hinata-chan and she has agreed to try and work things out, so I have come to you to tell you that I love you and I would like it if you could also work with us to become a happy family," he says, shocking her, but she lets a few tears drop from her beautiful face and hugs him tightly. "Do you even have to ask? Of course I'll be with you. Forever," she answers with as much conviction as she can muster, making him smile happily. "Great," is all he says before kissing her again. "I couldn't imagine a world without having you right next to me in it, Kakashi-chan. I wouldn't be able to go on at all if I didn't have you to be there for me," he said honestly, while Kakashi cried at his loving words to her. "Sorry, but I have to go now and get ready for my test in an hour. I will see you later, Kakashi-chan. I couldn't live without you either, and I know you will treat everyone the same, so I can agree to let you have others, but not too many. Bye-bye, Naruto-kun," she replies happily while making sure he understood not to have too many women. "This is the best day in all my years of life." The next morning, Naruto heads to the training ground that the team was supposed to meet at and is alone, being a couple minutes early. With his enhanced hearing, he hears something flying towards him. With his eyes widened, he moves his head out of the way. "Not bad, Naruto-kun," his sensei and hopefully girlfriend later, Anko, calls out. "Although I'm not really surprised at your level with all the training Nai-chan, Yu-chan, Tsum-chan, and I gave you all those years ago. Not to mention the training you did on your own during the academy," she says while grinning wildly. "Can't you ever just say hello?" he asks with some fake irritation, but then smiles with her. "Anyway, it looks like the team is all here now," he says, and just when he does, Sai and Kiba appear at his sides. "HMPH, yay, well, it looks like you would make a good team captain, Naruto. What do you think, Sai, Kiba?" Anko asks, as she knows that he is the strongest and that Kiba would already follow his orders. "I would follow him anytime and any place," Kiba says while grinning, with Akamaru barking in agreement. "What do you think, Sai, Naruto Taichu has?" Sai seems to really think about this for a minute. "I will agree with your judgment, Kiba. I will help you out with Naruto Taichu," he says calmly and with honesty. He knew that he shouldn't, but Danzo has always been harsh on him and the others en route, taking their emotions away and making them mindless drones. Sai, however, was lucky to not have been too far gone, and he didn't completely turn into the darkness to be able to have a shot at some amount of normalcy. He would much rather prefer to follow his brother Shin's ideals that he sees in Naruto. "Then it's official, I will be the captain of this team in Anko's absence," Naruto replied confidently, making the others smile. "Alright then, team, let me explain your test to you," Anko replies with a grin that disturbs them a bit. "This test will not be very easy. What you are going to do is find a man named Kakashi Haddock. Once you do, you will have to retrieve and bring to me his orange book. Is that understood?" Anko asks seriously. "You will have until the end of today to achieve it. If you do it quickly, we will do our first mission. Now get to it." Then she shunshes away, not giving them any other help with the test. She wanted to give them a hard test after all. "Alright team, first off, do any of you know Kakashi Haddock?" Naruto asks as he takes charge of the situation, seeing that they named him captain. He is called the copycat ninja of Konoha, said to have copied over 1,000. He has silver gravity-defying hair, he wears his headband on a diagonal with it covering his left eye. He also has a black ninja mask covering his face up to the middle of his nose. He possesses a Sharingan in the eye socket he covers, but I don't know how he got it. Sai informs them of having to know all the high-level shinobi of their village and the others. He didn't think that he should have said all the information, but Danzo said to help in any way he could and he didn't mind helping the blind for some reason. Good work Sai, any idea of where we could find him or how attached he is to this book of his? Naruto replies kindly to his new teammate, at first he really seemed weird, but with that help, he would give him a chance. Sai got a bit conflicted at Naruto's praise as he hadn't had much of it at all, but he quickly shook it off. It is said that he always has that book with him, so he is probably very attached to it. As to where he would be, I don't know. Alright, do you know about him at all Kiba? Naruto questions his other teammate. No idea Naruto Taichu, sorry. Don't worry about it, let's just head back to the village, we can then question people for information as he seems to be a pretty famous guy and it's all we can really do for now, so let's get to it. Naruto commands calmly but not forcefully. Hi and they all get on their way. The team is now searching for this man named Kakashi Haddock throughout the village. They decided together that they should never split up to cover more ground. Naruto left a wireless headset with each of them so he would be informed if they found something, and vice versa. He also made clones and them into random civilians and began asking around. He then suddenly thought that he could just ask the Hokage about Kakashi and went on his way there, hoping that the old man would give him something good. He immediately sets out there and gets there in only about 10 minutes, which is impressive with him starting at the other side of the village. Once entering his office, he greets his secretary friend and he decided to not give away too much information as he didn't think he would get help if the old man knew it was his test. He looks up to see the old man sitting behind the desk like he usually is and asks, "Hey Gigi, I had heard some rumors about a guy named Kakashi Haddock. I heard he was a really good nin at ninjutsu and I was wondering if he could show me a thing or two." He asked, trying to sound convincing, which he did with all of the things he went through in life. "Kakashi you say, I could probably point you to several locations in the village," he says while not seeing that question as being strange knowing their sensei. He had already had an idea of her test and he decided to help out. He then gets a map out and points to 3 places that he knows Kakashi likes to visit. "Alright, thanks old man." Naruto says as he shunshuns out of the room and starts to head to the first location while informing his team members. "Hey guys I have 3 places to look, I asked the Hokage." Kiba heads over to the bookstore on the west side of the village, Sai goes to the bars on the eastern edge, and I will head to Training Ground 7. If you don't spot him in either of those places, meet me at Training Ground 7, you guys got it? He says speaking into the headset he is wearing. "Got it Naruto Taichu, I'm heading to the bookstore now, good luck." Kiba replies. "Yes Taicho, I will head to the park now." Sai replies. "Good luck team." Naruto says as he gets to the location of Training Ground 7. Near Training Ground 7, Naruto goes into stealth mode. He jumps to the trees and suppresses his chakra so he is not discovered. Looking around the field, the only things he can see are 3 training posts and a lake on the right side of the field. "I don't really see anything, but maybe I haven't checked enough yet," he thinks to himself. As he is restarting his search, Kiba and Sed both are having similar results in their searches. They decide that they will look around for about 5 more minutes and head to Training Ground 7 and regroup with Naruto. Back with Naruto, it has now been about 3 more minutes and still nothing until out of the corner of his eye, he sees a man. He can only see his back, but he had the same type of hair that Sai described to him. This could be him, let's check it out. He moved to a better location as quietly as he could and saw the same diagonal headband and mask from the description. He was just standing in front of some kind of stone with his hands in his pockets looking depressed. "Hey, guys I got eyes on the man matching our target's information. He is at the training grounds and starts heading here. I don't know when he will be leaving, so really run to get here. What we're gonna do is have both of you attack him from the east and west while I jump in and attack him from behind, do you guys understand the plan?" He says quietly so he doesn't give up his position behind Kakashi who is really lost in thought. "I got it loud and clear. Let's do this," Kiba says with his normal enthusiasm. "Understood." Sai responds after him while thinking that the plan is a really good one. "Good, how much time will it take you guys to get here?" their captain asks again. 5 minutes tops," Kiba replies. "I'll be there in 2. Sai responds. "Alright, we'll wake up for you Kiba, we are all in this together. There are no lone wolves on this test." Naruto responds with his normal leader-like voice, which gives them extra confidence. "Hi," they reply both sounding a bit excited at this. After all, it is just the beginning of their first mission together. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the other videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.